Alright, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Coach D here with the first YouTube video of the new channel that I'm gonna be starting. Um, Make sure you give me a like and subscribe. Um, yeah, I'm starting this channel because there's a lot of truth out there, you know, about sports and stuff like that I want to get out. I want to give my opinion. I want to give my takes, and I want to see what y'all are thinking too. You know, a lot of people talk a lot of noise and talk a lot of nonsense, and I don't like that. I like the truth. So, I definitely want to start this channel and, hear what you guys are thinking, what you guys are saying. It's a new channel, so if you mess with me, please give me a like and a subscribe. And all right, let's hop into it for today. The first video and the first thing that I want to get uploaded is the Canelo versus Bivol boxing fight happening May 7th. It's going to be, and I wanted to get this out before the fight because I think something spicy might happen. So I don't want to put the video out after the fight, and then everybody be like, oh, like you saw the fight, and then you decided, nah, let's get it out right now. All right, so this is gonna be my prediction. But with the channel, we're gonna be, doing football, basketball, boxing. Yeah, that's probably where we're gonna stay. Um, but yeah, let's get into the prediction. So Dmitry Bivol is a light heavyweight champion at 175. Very talented. Um, Canelo, he's didn't, to my knowledge, he hasn't put on a rehydration clause for Bivol. So Bivol's going to be natural. The weight is going to be 175. Natural is what it is. And if I had to pick, I would say that Bivol would more than likely win the fight. However, because of him being from Russia, the Russian-Ukraine thing going on, they're trying to make Canelo into like the Spanish Floyd, type of situation. As far as being like this star, that's just the best pound for pound and all this different type of stuff. Because of that, I just don't see them giving Bivol a decision, even if Bivol wins the fight. I don't see them, giving him a decision. So I say that they're going to give Bivol and Canelo a draw, and Canelo will eat. Well, more than likely, it's going to be real interesting. Canelo might rematch him, or he might not. Depending on the fight goes. But this is why I kind of have my opinion. I got 5 reasons why I think Bivol can give Canelo a lot of trouble. The first reason that we have is Bivol's movement and his stamina. Bivol, specifically going off of the Joe Smith Jr. fight, when he really prepared. His last 2 fights, he didn't look that great, and even Bivol came out in an interview today and said, I wasn't at my best against Richards and stuff like that, and it was clear, But I feel like for Canelo, he's going to train and get up just like he did for Joe Smith. In the Joe Smith Jr. fight, at the 12th round, the last 10 seconds, Bivol did something like I rarely have seen. In the last 10 seconds, he said, you know what, I'm going to just unleash this like 20 punch combo on Joe Smith Jr. He almost dropped him, which was crazy. And that just showed, by outboxing him all night long, that Bivol can go 12 rounds moving. With Bivol, the difference with Bivol does this lot of this in and out type of movement, in and out, circle around. He's very, very mobile. This guy is an elite mover in boxing. His footwork is his defense. He will hit you, and when he sees you trying to counter, he'll take a small step back. He won't take a big step back. He'll take a small step back just to get out of range, just to get out of your range. And he does that to maintain range and distance, right? But to make sure that you can't hit him back. And then as soon as you throw, right, and you're finished, then he hop back in the range and start hitting, after he blocks your shots. And he sees an opening, and he goes back, and he plays that cat and mouse game all night, boxing at a distance, all night long. So that's one thing that he really has, and why that can be a problem for Canelo is that Canelo typically, recently, he's developed this style to where he walks you down, right? He walks his opponents down. He waits till they become stationary, they tire themselves out, and then he gets to really unloading these big shots. That's usually how he gets his opponents out of there. And we typically seen like in the Plant fight, in the Kovalev fight, like we're seeing guys, Billy Joe, we're seeing guys have successful moments, successful, like some people giving them rounds, especially Kovalev. Kovalev was getting rounds against Canelo. And as the fight started to go on, he started to tire out, and then Kovalev specifically gassed himself out. And then he became a stationary, just sitting up. Like he became stationary, and then Canelo just got to unleashing those big missiles, and then boom, it was an explosion. It was done. So that's kind of the game that Canelo likes to play. But for somebody like Bivol, Bivol is never stationary. He never just sits down, and he's always bouncing like in and out when I'm hitting you, and he's just waiting for you to throw something because as soon as you throw it, he's backing right back up. And that's his style. That's how he plays. That's how he fights, and that's something that has made him the number two or number one best person at 175. So I think that can give Canelo a lot of problems. He likes to wait until his opponents, are either in his range throwing meaningless shots or they're, stationary, and he can just get in range and then just go to work because they're just standing in front of him trying to block his shots or in the pocket trying to go with him. And he's just too good, too accurate of a puncher, too strong of a puncher, for you to stand in front of him and do that. So that's the first reason. The second reason is Bivol's power. Now, this is going to surprise a lot of people, but when you look at a lot of people say that Bivol doesn't have power. Can he? That was something I was hearing at first from a lot of people. You know, when the first fight got announced, and then people started talking about, oh, Bivol, he doesn't have that many knockouts. Or in his last like 8 fights, I don't think he has a knockout. 9 fights, he doesn't have a knockout. Something like that. And a lot of people were saying, oh, okay, well, then he's not going to have enough power to keep Canelo off of him, sort of like a Plant or, a Callum Smith or all these people that he's been fighting. He's not going to have enough power to keep Canelo at bay. Canelo's just going to walk him down, march him down, and then he's going to start to get the teeing off on him. Well, I think Bivol does have a significant amount of power because that's what you got to realize. We got to realize Bivol fights in the 175-pound division. Bivol is fighting light heavyweights. I mean, these are guys that are strong and big. You know what I'm saying? And Bivol is the number 2 ranked person in this division. Do we really think that the number 2 ranked person in this division is just a runner? That he just can go in there and just jab and move and jab and move, but he doesn't have any power to make light heavyweights like a Joe Smith, who's now a champion at 175, respect his power? Did it look like Joe Smith didn't respect Bivol's power in that ring? Of course he did, and Joe Smith can crack. So Bivol has enough power to make Canelo respect him. So Canelo's not going to be able to just march in there like Caleb Plant and just walk Bivol down like he's done these guys. Like he's not going to be able to do that because he's going to have something. Bivol is going to hit him. I watching that Caleb Plant fight. Caleb Plant, he's trying to be pretty. He's trying to be, pretty hands, sweet hands, and all this stuff. You're not hitting Canelo. Like Canelo, he has one of the best chins in boxing, and you're not even hitting him. You're not even stepping down on the punch and saying, "I'm throwing everything into it and I'm hitting you." You're not even hitting him. So, he's just walking you down and you're running all night. But with Bivol, no. When he hits him with that 1-2, Canelo gonna feel it. And he's not gonna be able to just keep marching him forward, whatever. The third thing would be Bivol's jab. Bivol has one of, if not the best jab in boxing, in my opinion. Bivol's jab is this stiff, sharp, crisp jab. And, looking at Canelo with Triple G, Canelo and his style and his high guard, you have to be able to put something in that high guard to make him, to give him something to look at, to give him something to worry about when he's trying to come inside your range, come in mid-range, getting close where he wants to be so he can throw those vicious body shots. You have to give Canelo something to look at. Bivol's jab is something to look at. Bivol's jab, he'll double up the jab, he'll throw it to the body, he'll throw it to the face, he'll condition you and make you think it's coming, and then he'll swing it around for a hook, right? right? Bivol's jab is one of the best in boxing. I think he lands it. I think it's him or Triple G lands the most jabs per round, in boxing. So Bivol's jab is elite, and Canelo with his high guard, the punches that he gets hit with the most, the punch that he gets hit with the most, without a doubt, is the jab and the 1-2. To me, watching the Kovalev fight, watching the Plant fight, that's the jab. That's the shots that he gets hit with the most, and those are Bivol's go-to, and that's basically all he does almost. And he does that extremely well. That 1-2 is sharp. It is, and the jab is so sharp. It's so clean. It's so crisp. Canelo's really gonna have to watch out for that as well. The fourth one is going to be Bivol's style. I just don't think his style matches up for what Canelo wants to do. Like we said, Canelo likes to walk down his opponent slowly, like a shark. You know what I'm saying? Like just slowly, just creep forward on you. Let you gas yourself out, running away from it, and then you know, right when you just run out of gas, right when I have you, it's just what I'm saying? It's like a horror movie. He's like a murderer, man. This guy he just walks you down. As long as you can run away, what I'm saying, from the monster, you can run away from the serial killer, you good. What do we see all the time in the movies? You run yourself, you run and you're running so fast, and next thing you know, you trip. And that's what happens to Canelo's opponents. They run themselves, and then they just gas out. And then, sure enough, here come Canelo, and he come with that machete, and it's chop time. So, that's what Canelo likes to do to his opponents these days. But Bivol doesn't do that. Bivol doesn't run. Bivol is gonna stand right in front of Canelo, and when he thinks Canelo's gonna throw, right, when he thinks he's gonna counter his jab or trying to slip something, Bivol's gonna bounce back, and he's going to try to make Canelo miss. And when Canelo misses, then Bivol is going to try to hop back in, boom, boom, boom. And he's going to try to play that game with Canelo all night. Meanwhile, racking up a lot of points with that jab. So the question is going to become, how can Canelo close the distance on Bivol to where he's not constantly moving away from him with the jab, not running like Kovalev, not running like Plant, not running, but just moving just out of range to where Canelo can't hit him, and he has the reach advantage. So that's going to be the major key, and that's a style that for Canelo, having somebody that's elite at doing that can give him a lot of trouble as well. That style. Bivol's height and reach is the fifth reason. Canelo's used to fighting bigger guys. It's really not that big of a thing. But when you compare it with the style, Bivol has a longer reach than Canelo. Bivol's taller than Canelo. So it's gonna be a mission for Canelo to get past that footwork, right? Get past that reach, that jab with the footwork. Imagine you trying, he's gonna be trying to close that gap, and every time he's trying to close that gap, Bivol hits him with a jab, 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 and he's moving away while he's doing it, but he's not running away from him, right? He's just jab, move, jab, move, 1-2, move. Canelo throws, move, hit him back, move. And he's just doing this all night long. You know what I'm saying? That can get wearisome on Canelo. Canelo doesn't have the best stamina in the game, and that can get wearisome on Canelo. That he's trying to chase Bivol, trying to close the distance on Bivol, but he can't. Right? So that's another situation. That's another thing too. But that's why I say his height and reach and combined with his style, it's just, man, it's looking like it could give Canelo some serious problems. And then just looking at Canelo in his history, like who he's been fighting. Canelo has been fighting these guys, right? To me, B-level fighters. B-level fighters. Caleb Plant is a B-level fighter. Callum Smith is a B-level fighter. Like when I say B-level, I mean A-level guys are guys like Spence, guys like Triple G, a few years ago. Even though some people still say Triple G's A-level fighter. Okay, those type of guys. Guys that are like, man, like you gotta be really good, like really, really good to beat this guy, right? He's an A-level fighter that can actually give Canelo a run for his money. Like nobody's picking Billy. Some people did. I don't know why, but Billy Joe was never beating Canelo. Callum Smith was never beating Canelo. Caleb Plant was never gonna beat Canelo. Like you have to have some serious talent to beat somebody that's an A-level fighter like Canelo. You can't just, you know, oh, I'm a champion. I'm a champion. Oh, yes, I'm going to beat Canelo. How? How are you going to beat Canelo? Do you have the power to beat Canelo? Do you have the speed? Do you have the footwork, the defense? What do you have that's going to beat Canelo? You can't just say you're just going to beat Canelo because you're a champion, because you're at a bigger weight class. Like, no. But he's been fighting guys that can't beat him, right? He's fighting B-level fighters, and looking to me, a lot of people saying, "Oh, Canelo looks so great. Canelo looks unstoppable right now." Well, yeah, I would hope that an A-level fighter looks good against a B-level fighter. But the crazy thing is, you would think how people talking, let Canelo fans tell it. You would think that Canelo is demolishing these B-level fighters. Like he just murdered Kovalev. Kovalev had a great, and he's a B-level fighter at this stage. But Kovalev had great success. A lot of people said that fight was close until he got knocked out, right? Caleb Plant had success in that fight. Did he beat him? Was he beaten? I don't think so. But he had success. So when Canelo goes against, so if Canelo is having just is going 11 rounds, 12 rounds with B-level fighters, then wouldn't that say that if he got in the ring with an A-level fighter, right? If Caleb Plant can go 11 rounds with Canelo Alvarez, if Kovalev at this stage being weight drained, coming off the Anthony Yarde fight, if he can go 11 rounds with Canelo, then what would somebody who's an A-level fighter in their prime do? That's Dmitry Bivol. That's why this is a dangerous fight for Canelo. It's a huge step up in competition. This is the best fighter that he's fought since Triple G. And I'm going to say it right now. Triple G is an amazing fighter. But stylistically, Bivol's style is worse for Canelo than Triple G's was. Triple G is a warrior, man. He's a fighter. He's a brawler and a boxer at the same time. But he's looking to crack, right? Canelo has the chin, though, that can crack with Triple G. But he had problems with Triple G's jab. He had little struggles with Caleb Plant's jab, little struggles with Kovalev's jab, struggles with jabs in general. Bivol has the best jab in the game. Anyway, back to what I was saying. He's fighting against these guys, right? And with this stylistic matchup of Bivol, I just think Bivol's style just gives him problems. And I was comparing it to Triple G because Triple G's gonna bang, but like I said, Canelo really lost that first fight to me just because he was having really hard time with Triple G's jab, right? But he was still being able to trade with Triple G. He could, that's the type of stylistic, like they're both bangers. So they were just banging and it was a great fight, right? But Triple G had more success because of the jab. But with Bivol looks to jab and then move out the way. He's looking to get away like a thief, in the night. Like he's looking to hit Canelo and then move. Triple G hits you and tries to break you when he's hitting you. He ain't moving. He ain't going nowhere. You can hit me back. And Triple G has one of the best shins in the game. So Triple G was like, I hit you, you hit me back, and that's whatever. We can call it a day. I'm gonna break you before you break me. That's how Triple G kind of does it. And he does it as an elite level boxer too. But with Bivol's looking to hit and then get away. He's not looking to exchange with Canelo. He's not gonna let Bivol is not gonna let Canelo hit him. A lot of dudes have problems hitting Bivol. Bivol is the number one ranked plus minus fighter. What is plus minus, Coach D? Plus minus is the ability, the ratio of you hitting your opponent to being hit by your opponent. He's number one on CompuBox. Number one. That's better than Lomachenko. That's better than Shakur Stevenson, who we just saw dominate Oscar Valdez, right? Who's on the pound for pound list. He's number one in that category. All he does is hit and not get hit. That's all Bivol is trying to do. He's not trying to do nothing else but hit and not get hit. And that's what he does at an elite, extremely elite level. He hasn't fought the competition of a Canelo Alvarez as of yet. Who has, other than Triple G, you know what I'm saying? Like those fights just ain't like every fighter got somebody on their resume that's a pound for pound fighter. But at the same time, he's fought John Pascal, former champion. He's fought Joe Smith, who is a champion. He fought Barrera. Like he has fought guys. And when I say that he has fought these guys, he has dominated these guys. He's shown that if those guys are B level fighters, those guys can barely get a round off of me. Now these last two, he's fighting B level guys. I think Richards is a B plus level. I think people don't realize how good Richards actually can be or is. But and even still, you know, even with a bad performance, Richards might have won a few rounds, two, three, maybe. Like he got dominated too. So all that to say, Bivol is showing that I'm on another level. And if he's preparing for Canelo like how I think he is, he's saying that this is all I've been waiting for, blah, blah, blah. Like I'm gonna show like you look at Bivol, Bivol got it in his eyes, man, and he believes in himself. He's undefeated, he's in his prime, he's at 175, he's natural. Like he's serious. He's serious, and I think he's coming to do it. I think Canelo is in. He's in for a day, for a day, for a day, and a lot of it's Canelo. Payday. Alvarez. All his little fanboys out here. They just Canelo can't lose. Canelo's so great. No way he's gonna smash Dmitry Bivol. Bivol's getting battered. There's no way Bivol beats him. You guys are gonna be in for a special treat, a proper treat on May 7th because Bivol is not to be played with. He's not the one. He is for real. He's just slept on. He's just under the radar, but he is for real. So, we're going to see what's going on. Let me know your comments, what you think about the fight, what you think about Bivol and his style and how it matches up with Canelo. Yeah, let me know what you think about that. And May 7th, all's going to be revealed. So, yeah, drop your comments, hit me with a like and subscribe, and let's go.